There are two kinds of people.
I really enjoy coming to work every day. I feel like our work environment is very positive. I get excited to come to work.
This is a party for one of the Johnson & Johnson family members. They are of Johnson & Johnson. You may not know that some of these people are actually Johnson family members, so treat everyone as if they are.
I always expected that my 21st birthday party would be the greatest night of my life. Champagne, pretty girls. You wonder, can life get any better than this?
Yeah, no, it don't. Drives them crazy.
Well, to be blunt, it can. At midnight, I'm going to inherit more money than most people could earn or spend in a lifetime. I've been waiting for this night for as long as I can remember. The thing is, now that it's here, I'm not really sure what to make of it all. I live in a country that everyone wants to believe is a meritocracy.
Yeah.
We want to think that everyone earns what they have. I guess if it makes you feel better, keep telling yourself that. It doesn't work for me anymore. I know my family gives away millions of dollars each year to charity, but how does that exactly level the playing field? I mean, what did I do to earn the kind of money I'll own at midnight tonight? All I did was inherit it.
She's a babe.
To be born rich. When he was my age, he bought a schooner and sailed to the Arctic.
Must be nice.
From the beginning, my grandfather had everything going for him. He was tough. By the end of his days, my grandfather had managed to sink himself and his family into the kind of problems only truly mastered by the very rich. Ugly estate battles, bitter divorces, brutal publicity, and family ties undone by business rivalries. I've heard plenty of stories like my grandfather's, and I have a feeling that I'm not the only rich kid a little worried about the voodoo of inherited wealth. But the thing is, nobody wants to talk about money. It's like this big taboo always lurking under the surface. That's why I want to ask other kids who were born rich about that one subject everybody knows it's not polite to talk about.
Look, Jamie, this firm, we have represented your family for years. For years. I can't in good conscience recommend to the kinds of people you want to talk to about the kinds of things you want to talk about that they participate in the film. They have to be nuts. I mean, you're dealing with families that have always made it gospel that you don't talk about your money. And now you want to put them in a film that, I don't know how, I'm not surprised that you're having trouble getting people.
Before I say anything, I just want to say that I am really, really reluctant to do this. And I really don't like talking to this thing at all. And I dislike you both immensely as a result of the fact.
These are the people behind all the
Did you have a
fuckery in the
waiting to
world.
exhale moment? You put all his clothes in a pile and burn them?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did, yes. I took all the clothes I bought him.
Listen to you grown-up people in here. This young woman, you're applauding her burning up his clothes.
Perfect illustration of, revenge seeking and revenge addiction. You can control it. Now, let's hear, what were the negative consequences for you?
None.
None? Okay. So you had
Being on the Oprah podcast.
Welcome to the Oprah Podcast. We're in New York City with an audience of our listeners, and I so appreciate all of you and all of you who tell me that you're getting information, enlightenment from our podcast, that it's comforting to you. You get a lot of ahas. I'm so happy. You're going to have a lot of ahas today because the truth is we are living in a complicated and complex time, and it is my hope to continue using my life in such a way that we can create conversations that can help you kind of take the lens and zoom out to see the bigger picture of a lot of subjects and zoom in to understand what's really underneath so many of the challenges that we all are facing as humans together here on the planet. And one of the things
I thought I heard Oprah.
If Luke is any indication of what it's going to be like trying to get my friends to talk, then this is going to be more of an adventure than I expected.
I have sort of apprehensions, first of all, about being on, in a film like, my Atlantic City in terms of sports betting. It was a pretty big business. My father told me at a very early age that I could do whatever I wanted. You can do whatever you want. You could be a concert violinist for all I care, as long as you do something. As long as you do something, you're going to be set up. You don't have to worry about anything. Don't do something. He didn't say, at that age, I might have to cut you off, but...
Sir! It would be a low estimate, a very low estimate for me to say 20 billion. But I can't get too exact with it. But in attainable assets, that's the range our family's in. My grandfather goes by Cy. His father went by SI. I'm my father's oldest son, so I'm SI number 4. And my great grandfather had bought a group of magazines under a label called Condé Nast. I don't remember what was in it originally, so I'm just going to name them all. Is that okay? I don't have enough fingers. Vogue, Self, Glamour, House and Garden, Condé Nast Traveler, Architectural Digest, Bon Appetit, Gourmet.
Proud to be a Trump. And I'm, proud of my family name, and I'm proud of everything they've done and ever accomplished. My grandfather, somebody was telling me, had built more housing units than anyone
That's not the real last name.
else has ever done in New York. And he was just in the other boroughs. So to my dad, it was sort of he wanted to go in the direction of his father. He just always loved Manhattan, so he wanted to build here.
Now you're in New
There's some sort of pride in the fact that people would even take an interest in me just because I'm a part of them. So, for a while I was worried that, for my whole life I'd sort of be under my parents' shadow, but it's not a bad shadow to be under, I guess. So it's okay.
I mean, growing up, everything just seems normal. You go to a museum, you're like, yeah, that's me, that's my family, And don't you have a family museum? The money from my family is kind of complicated. On my grandfather's side of the family, his grandmother was Gertrude Financier, and in the process formed the Whitney Museum. Ironic, because the Whitney family made their money off of subways.
I didn't always know I was rich. I know it sounds a little strange to say that, but growing up in the country, I just thought that everybody had carriages and horses and stuff like that. My parents never sat me down and self at all. He'd read the article aloud to the whole class.
You want to file free? Hit it.
What?
My family. There were 7 of them. 7 awful people between myself
What do you want me to do about
$28
it?
billion.
I should know we're family. It's like looking in a freaking mirror.
It may sound crazy. You and I actually may be cousins.
What? Article aloud to the whole class, and everyone, including my teacher, ran over to check it all out for themselves. It was strange. All my friends and me finding out at the same time how rich my family was. I felt like I was learning a secret that I wasn't supposed to know. A secret my dad had been keeping from me. And now, the fact that I'm making a film about it has him really nervous.
Sometimes prying into people's lives with a camera and revealing things that are sensational creates ill will and
yeah, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I want to have a happier life and how I actually feel about myself more in a psychological, introspective way. And I don't want to be nervous about money or be nervous about who I am. And I feel like you're feeling nervous about this film is maybe that nervousness of who you are.
And you're in control of this film, and I'm not. So there's a little source of nervousness.
What do you think about my theory that you have that nervousness and that anxiety? You want me to make the same mistakes you did?
Maybe.
The time I realized I was wealthy was ironically at Friends Seminary in New York City, which is a Quaker school. I say ironically because Quakers are supposed to be nice and like not evil acting. But apparently there's one of those parent meeting things, and some kid, her father must have told her, oh, that guy, his family owns a lot of stuff and newspapers, and they're really mean and whatnot. And she went and told everybody that I thought I was all into myself. And I don't know, I guess at that point these kids were intelligent enough to think that that made me a braggart or something. And they beat the crap out of me at a Quaker school. So that was my first realization of that. And it also allowed me to also realize that I didn't like my father so much because I came home all screwed up and he didn't even notice. So
There were times as I grew older that I became more conscious of it by the way people treated me because I had money. It wasn't even my money. I was a little kid. It was people, I'd noticed people treating me differently because my parents had money. So that even, you know, one more step removed. So I never really understood that. Because I couldn't give them my parents' money, so I didn't really think there was a reason to treat me in a different way. But I think that's why in friends that I have now, the major quality I look for is sincerity. Because I think there is a lot of that. And I didn't realize it when I was younger because I was quite sheltered. But now I see it, so.
I remember, you know, being picked up from school to go on holidays in a limousine being this huge thing. I remember being so upset with my father when, you know, he would do that. I remember, you know, making him like either like park around the block and I would like scurry down the street and around the corner. And that's a true story. I really did that a couple of times. I remember just like being like, no, you know, I'm not rich. I don't have any money. And, you know, really telling people that. Making an effort to identify with like maids working in our house or like babysitters or, you know, whoever. And trying to convince them, like, as though there was any, like, they were living in our house, for Christ's sakes, you know?
My dad brought us up, always telling us we were poor. We never were given too many presents. And I didn't know anything about the Vanderbilts or the Whitneys. I didn't know anything about it. And I remember when I was a little kid, my mom let me spend the day with my uncle. And, he took me to Grand Central Station, and he said, "This is yours." I mean, that's just the worst thing. He'd just take me all around New York and be like, "Yes, we own this." And it was the dumbest thing in the world to do to a kid. This is something that some people in my family did a long time ago. I never knew them. My mom never knew them. My grandfather didn't even know the people who came up with this idea. I'm not like making money off of Grand Central Station or anything.
I didn't grow up like Josiah with statues of my family in front of Grand Central Station. I don't even know that much about how my family started their business. And I really don't know anything about how it still runs today. In fact, none of my relatives have worked at Johnson & Johnson since my grandfather's generation. All I know about it is that ever since I was a kid, I've heard this rumor that they have a company store in there where employees can get anything they want for half price. Even though my name's on the package, I'm just a shareholder and a customer, so I pay retail. Just like everybody else.
These are like the new rage, right? Like these glasses. Okay, ready for me to look totally retarded? Because yellow is not my color. Cool, go ahead, Ania. I'm a handbag guru, personally, because it's like the easiest thing to shop for when you're not really shopping and you're just running in. And you just go and you buy it and you don't realize how expensive it is. And then it kind of adds up and you have like two huge, you know, like shelves worth of bags. I think this is so classic. It's just a little bag. You stick everything in. It can hold your makeup kit. It can hold your Palm Pilot, or if you're still into paper, your diary. And then of course you also have the bigger one so you can fit your little dog in it. My dad's German, but he was born here in New York. He went to collegiate and then went to put himself through Columbia and then went to Harvard Law School and was a lawyer. And is like self-employed now. And so I was always raised lap of luxury in New York, totally lucky, going to private schools my entire life and kind of having whatever I want, but always knowing that if you ever lose it all you have is this.
I do think the mentality that was kind of pushed into us from an early age was be out there if at all possible. You got to get out there. Like everybody's counting on you. All eyes are on you. If you're not out there, they're going to think you're soft or you're letting the team down. As a player, we only think about us and we only think about the moment. Nobody really knows what you're dealing with. You know, you're the only one that really knows, okay, am I healthy? Do I feel normal? And then as you get older, you go, okay, now I realize I'm not invincible.
Man. That was a word, Kurt. That was a word. Today we're honored to sit down with Kurt Warner, whose journey to the NFL was anything but conventional. From growing up in poverty, going undrafted, and grinding through the Arena Football League and NFL Europe, Kurt never gave up on his dream. Despite early setbacks and injuries, he became a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, and Hall of Fame quarterback. Off the field, Kurt continues to lead with impact advocating for health and mental wellness. Through faith, family, and perseverance, Kurt has turned every challenge into purpose. Here's a closer look at our guest, Kurt Warner.
But first, a message from our sponsor.
When things get tough, you don't go down easily. You keep pushing.
If you've been diagnosed with metastatic PSMA-positive prostate cancer, had hormone therapy, and can delay chemotherapy, ask